Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. It's your girl Rhonda the Light coming on this beautiful, 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 marvelous Monday to encourage you on this day. It's some things that's been distracting you. It's just like one thing after the other, after the other, after the other. You have to be able to determine what is a distraction and what is that thing that you're actually called to do. Okay, a lot of times we get these false responsibilities. More times we bring it on ourselves. If you anything like me, I've always been this person to where I run to everybody's rescue. I'm dancing to folks' music, and half the time the music don't, it don't even flow like that. But you find yourself doing things and being in places, and a lot of you flocking. Nothing wrong with church. I love visiting churches. I love church. I do. I was raised up in church my whole entire life. Our family, my mom and dad, man, they raised us. You know how some people, my mom and dad raised us up in the house of God. So it's not that we don't know, but can I tell you, God is doing something outside of the church walls. It's people that have never, ever, ever been introduced to the God that you say you serve and you love, that healed you, that delivered you, that put his word in your mouth. They need to hear you other than just church. Some of you all, you just love to preach, be behind pulpits and just, I don't know what that is about, fame, fortune, or whatever floats your boat. But let me tell you something. God is calling his remnant, his chosen vessels, to get out here and save a dying world. Everybody is not called to evangelize, okay? That's why it's called the fivefold ministry. When God said that I was a messenger, whatever that means to him, that's what I'm doing. Okay, so I want you to find yourself, remove anything that is keeping you from doing what you're supposed to do. Find yourself doing it. Those distractions, a lot of those distractions you brought on yourself. Some of those distractions, yeah, they just, things that we have no power over, no control over. Okay, I get it. Okay, but those things that you have control over, and you constantly doing the same things over and over, at some point you got to know that's a spirit that lingers of rebel, that's keeping you from doing what God is really calling you to do. Okay, it's some of you that God is calling you to help other women, help other men, help children, and do all those things, but you're so focused on church, and I need to go make this money so I can play the drums, making money. Part 2 is coming. I know y'all know how too well. Church. Okay, what else? A lot of you like to go into places where you can hide. Okay, the ruah, the breath, the wind of God has been blown in you for such a time as this, to go out and to compel the people to come to God, not to us. We are to train, to equip, and then once you train and you equip, then they go out, they train, they equip, and it goes on and on and on. I said, well, not one person's blood will be on my hands. If I tell you something that God have given me and you want to turn a deaf ear and a blind eye, that's between you and God. That don't have anything to do with Rhonda. If I extend something to you and you keep making excuses, that's on you. That's not on Rhonda. And every time, just because, let me say this to you, I'm not quick to put a mic in nobody's hands. That's nothing against anybody else. And I'm not saying that I'm just telling you about Rhonda. My thing is to see you get trained, because see, you can get a mic in your hand, you put a mic in a fool's hands and they'll make a mess. Or you put a job description in somebody's hand. I'm just telling you what I know, not what I heard. These are things I've experienced. You put people in positions and they come in, they make a whole mess of it. Okay, it's because they wasn't ready, they wasn't prepared, because you looking at their potential. You're looking at the potential of a person, and then when they do certain things, you say, oh, they broke my heart. No, they broke your expectations, because you was expecting them to be you. You was expecting them to be loyal. You was expecting them to love the things that you love and hate what you hate. No, it's not always that way. So when you're getting people to come in, put them on trial first and see just where their heart is. I don't want to be around a bunch of just preachers. No, at some point you need to be around people that don't even know God. What is your purpose? The ruach, the breath of God has been blown into you to blow out to help someone else. It's not always about getting a mic in your hand and preaching. Okay, sometimes you just need to be that light. Sometimes you just need to walk into places and you need to be, it's places I've been and everybody's praying out loud and God said, do it in silence. You'll see more results. That's why do you think is go in and shut the door? Because what you do in secret, what you do in, I will reward you openly. Everything ain't for show. Everything is not for show. Your humbleness, humble yourself under the mighty hand of God. And in due time and in due season, God will exalt you. But you got to humble yourself. We have to be humble. I'll be back. Don't you know God knows? Don't you know that God knows what He has placed on the inside of you? I don't care. It's just like you know, I hear people fussing about, you know, I had this amount of money in the bank and this, that, and the third in the bank, and they won't give me all of my money and they holding my money. And God said, okay, I place my anointing on you. I've given you authority. I've given you power. I've given you exousia. And you're doing nothing with it. You keep making excuses. Well, they, and they disappointed me, and they wasn't loyal. And stop trying to see yourself in other people. I know I used to be bad about that. Like, okay, if I'm loyal, I'm thinking they're gonna automatically be loyal. If I'm humble and loving, and you know, if I'm helping them, they're gonna automatically. That's not always true. Stop trying to find yourself in other people. And by the same token, if you're around a bunch of chickens, and you know you're an eagle, a chicken will try to fly up, but they can only go so far. You know you're an eagle. You have no business hanging with chickens unless I know you ain't trying to turn that chicken into no eagle. It's just impossible. Okay? And they don't want to go anywhere. They're comfortable being on the ground, eating up every little bitty nasty thing. It's just like a hog. A hog, you can clean it, bow it, do everything. But the minute that joker get out there and all that slop and see all the rest of the pigs, they're going to jump right out there. It's only so much you can do. I made up in my mind, I'm going to do what God called me to do. And it's not going to always be in a building. It's going to be outside. Everybody is not evangelists. Everybody. That's why it's the fivefold. Know your position. Some people like myself wear many hats, but you can't wear all of them at the same time. Be humble enough to know that. And some of you, you will literally run people off because it's all you do is complain. You complain on social media all the time about what people are doing, what they're not doing, okay, for as your ministry, okay, the right ones are coming. And when they do, don't you run them off with your mouth. Don't you run them off with being messy. Don't you do it, because a lot of you've had good people to come around you, and because you've been so messy, you keep up confusion and you do so much stuff, nobody stays, and then you want to blame everybody. At some point, you have to be self-aware enough to know that it's something in me, the reason why this stuff keep happening. Why am I keep drawing these type of people? See, Rhonda had to become self-aware to know, okay, it's the reason why. You know, why am I keep drawing these type of people? Is there something in me that I'm not healed from? What's in me? The reason why I keep drawing these people like a magnet. It's something. So moving forward, it's time for us to, there's a shift going on in the atmosphere. I don't know if you feel it, but it's a shift going on. Get prepared. Stay ready so you don't have to be ready. So you don't have to get ready. Stay ready.